Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to make caramelized onions. So in my last video I showed you how to clean onions. This one I'm going to show you how to actually use them in the most simplest way possible. All you need, onions, maybe some water, and a pan, you're good to go. So let's get started. A super brief demo on how to clean the onion. Take off both ends, as so. Cutting it down the middle. Remember, knife safety. Tip bottom. You're removing at least 1 or 2 layers from the top. I like to always remove 2. Bam bam. Now, for caramelized onions, you could actually use onion bits, you could use slices, you could use whatever you want. I'm used to doing it the old-fashioned way, which is using lyonnaise cuts, which is basically a very fancy French way of saying slice thinly. So, see the knife positioning is good? Okay. So basically, you could either do the seesaw technique as so, or you could slice it if your knife's really thick, really sharp. I'm gonna do it like this. It doesn't need to be compact. It does not need to be together. You just need to cut them as thin as possible. Why are you cutting them as thin as possible? It's gonna release more of the liquids later when you're trying to caramelize it. There you go. I'm going to do about 2 onions. That should be enough to demonstrate the technique. I could do it less, but, you know, it's such a small amount. So all I said you needed was a pan, onions, and some water. You could replace water also with a type of vinegar. You could also replace it with wine. Anything that you add to the dish will only make it better in most cases. So if you want to go that extra mile, you're going to taste it later when you're cooking. I like to personally use water or a white wine. What I also did at the hotel, we mixed it with red wine vinegar. That was actually really, really good. And what you could also do to speed up the process, if you have, like, let's say a lot of onions where you're cutting like 30, 40 worth, use sugar. Sugar caramelizes, right? So it's going to start the process a lot faster. For this video, I don't think I'm going to use sugar. Maybe if I see it's taking a bit too long, but it shouldn't be necessary. Again, you're using your finger to guide how thick you want the slices. And your safety first. Do not go fast if you can't. Just go as slow as possible. I just want the technique down for you guys. You're not the Bobby Flay or something. So, well, maybe you are actually. I don't know. And if you are, hello. So, I think there's enough to demonstrate the technique. Turn on my pan. I'm going to rotate my camera. Gotta see how that turns out. It's not that bad. That's not that bad. A little bit less, a little more. There you go. Okay. So I got my water ready already. I just rhymed there. And then basically, I'm waiting for my pan to get super, super hot. You do not need to do this, but I'm going to add a little bit of oil. When I was at the hotel, we did not add oil. We added butter. Butter is actually probably a little bit better than oil, but it does burn a little bit quicker, so oil is just the safest route. So I'm waiting for it to get a little bit hot. I'm going to add the onions, and the party's going to get started. You're going to see how easy it is. You guys are going to do this at home in no time. So, while we wait. I don't know why I didn't have my music on. But this is amazing for sandwiches. You could do it for burgers. What's really awesome, what we used to do at the hotel, is basically a tomato soup with a grilled cheese. That grilled cheese was just spot on. Caramelized onions, butter, thyme, herbs. You cannot go wrong with this combination. I'm probably going to do that in another video. I know a really sexy way to make that tomato juice for the soup. It's going to be awesome. So, it's about done. How you check if your pan is hot enough, just a simple technique. Look, we have water here. Just a little bit of water. If you hear any kind of hissing, it's hot. Not even remotely close. See? Not even remotely close. In hindsight, I probably should have waited for my pan to get a little bit hot in advance. But I want to do it à la minute for you guys. It's getting there. It's getting there. Give it a couple more seconds, and I'm going to throw these bad boys inside. A fast way to transfer anything from your cutting board to the pan, you could just take your knife and you scoop from under, and you could grab stuff with it. I'm going to show you in a second. Yeah, it's hot enough. So, I'm scooping from under. This could make a mess, by the way, disclaimer. Grabbing it. Transfer. And when you're transferring it, go slowly. If you go like this, you can cut yourself. I've seen it happen to people. No, but not to me. So, you shouldn't be doing this with your hands, but I'm a semi-professional, so I think I could be able to do it. You're also going to grab yourself a spatula, which I need to clean ironically. And what you're going to do, you're going to press down on the onions. You want to make one layer. Why you want to make one layer is to just for it to cook evenly. You don't want to have clumps that are not cooked. See right here is a little bit thick. That's why it's so important to have even cuts. For this, not as important, but you know, in general. So, you don't want to move it too much. In the beginning it's important because you want to separate it, but you want to keep it so that it caramelizes properly. What's caramelization exactly? You have liquids inside of the onion, correct? When you're heating it from the bottom, it expels the liquid and there's sugar in the liquid. So the sugar reacts to the heat and it caramelizes. There's a lot that you're not going to see in the pan, right? So when you see the tiniest bit of brown, it means there's a lot more brown. This is where you deglaze with your water or your wine, and it'll grab everything from under and it's going to lift it up. So I'm already seeing a little bit of brown, meaning there's a lot more. So I'm going to put some water. First I'll open a light. I think that's going to help you guys visually. Just a little bit. You don't want to add a lot, right? Oh yeah. You hear that hissing? That's all the stuff getting lifted up. See how much brown there is? I told you guys. You're not going to see it initially. You only see a little bit, but actually you're going to see a lot. So, remember I said sugar could accelerate the process? Well, that's what I'm going to do right now. You do not want to add too much, okay? But I'm going to add a little bit, just to expedite the process a little bit. I'm going to let it cook a little bit. It's going to need about 30 seconds. And then you're going to see the caramelization from the sugar is actually going to affect the onions themselves. A little bit of a toss. Starting to look good, guys. So what you could do actually to improve this. So caramelized onions are awesome by themselves. They're very sweet. The more you cook them, the sweeter they'll get, the more they'll stick together. Like I said before, you could add wine, you could add vinegars. This will accelerate the flavor in your mouth. You could actually add butter to finish it off. That way it's not going to burn, but you're still going to have the fat content. Fat plus any kind of acid is very nice. It stays in your mouth longer. So, it's been cooking for a little bit. I'm going to add some more water. And now I mix it up a little bit. Now, obviously, there's different degrees of doneness to this. If you want something for, let's say, a submarine club, or let's say a hamburger, you don't want to cook it all the way. You can, but a lot of people like it like halfway cooked. I would say maybe another minute for that process, and it's gonna be good to go. I'm gonna cook it a little bit more because I really despise raw onions with an extreme prejudiced passion. So I'm just gonna cook it all the way. But just to let you know, there's different degrees. And I know it's a little bit silly to point this out. Sorry, I had to feel my camera if it was hot enough. I mean, I don't want it hot. Just to point this out, there's a lot of liquids in onion, correct? So the more that it's being cooked, the more the onions are going to reduce. So just be mindful of that. And whoa, my camera's not really, okay, it's getting better now. Okay, cool. So yeah, they are going to reduce a lot. It's super normal. Don't worry about it. The flavor is going to be just even better, the more concentrated. Beautiful. I'm going to make it a little bit better. You could add this in the middle of cooking. You could add in the beginning, at the end. I'm going to add a little bit of thyme because I have the time. Ha ha ha. I added a little bit too much, but you know what? That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna add a little bit of rosemary because rosemary cooked is super nice. What else do I want to add to this? I mean, I think it's good enough as is, but I'm gonna add a tiny bit of wine. So, I'm also gonna be adding a little bit of butter. If I can find that wine, oh, it's right here. So normally, I don't like to use red wines with onion, but I will in this case. There you go. So, I'm grabbing a little bit of butter. And I'm just going to put a little bit. Do not do this at home. You might burn yourself. I'm minorly burning myself, but I'm used to it. So don't worry about it. This is going to add that fat content that I was telling you about, right? So, the thyme smells amazing. So, a little bit of red wine here. Why I do not like to use red wine, you cannot see not the glazing, you can't see the caramelization properly. At least with a white wine, it doesn't affect the color. This will affect the color a lot, which makes it look a lot nicer, but if you're trying to judge the caramelization levels, it's a little bit hard. So now I'm going to give it a little bit of a mix. Also, butter does the same effect, right? When your butter browns as you cook it, so it ends up being just not an accurate portrayal on how caramelized your onions are. But again, look at these colors. I mean, who's going to complain about that? It's beautiful. And as you can see, it's starting to stick, meaning that the caramelization is going on its way. And obviously you guys cannot smell via where you're sitting, but it smells pretty fantastic. You just gotta take my word for it. Oh my god. I'm probably gonna make a video on how to make pickled onions, and that is super awesome in specific dishes. I personally do not like it that much, but it goes very well and pairs very well with certain things. So, my caramelized onions are pretty much good to go. I don't know if you guys could see it like this. It's good. I would personally cook it more than this, but for the average person, this is more than enough. So, that kind of concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you guys have any suggestions for things that you would like to see, like this video right here, someone actually suggested I do it, please tell me. Comment below, DM me, whatever. Give me the information because I need it. I want to be able to teach you guys everything that you do not know how to do. Thank you very much for watching the video. I super appreciate it. If you can, please subscribe below. Please send me a like. Check out the other videos. There's a lot more to learn about cooking. Even for me, I've been doing it a long time. I know absolutely nothing in comparison to everything that has to be known. So, I love you all. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.